Hello, welcome to the wonderful world of random sequencing. And I believe I got that wrong here, so let's change that. We're going to be talking about, this is my other channel, Sequencing Random Numbers, and we're talking about Super Lotto Plus sequences here. And in order to understand, when it comes to random sequencing, whether it's roulette or lotto, or even cards. You could put a value on cards on every face of the cards. You could put a value to like the queen and the king uh, and you put a numeric value to them. They could be sequenced actually. So, but to understand random sequencing, it has a language of itself, and it's made up of binary numbers. Binary number could be like 11. 11 could be equal to 3 in binary notation. There are statements too, like the statements of like for instance the 21 carries a statement two ones. What is two ones? 1 1. See, so you got to understand the statements, expressions, but there's also binary decimal numbers. There are numbers that are half binary and half decimal. Like for instance, here's one right here. Here's the 2. This is 21. But with this 111 linked to it, that makes, even though there are three, basically the three cells, right, linked to this actually forms 27. And the way it does it is that if you count the 111 in binary notations, that's equal to 7. Linked to a 2, that makes 27. So that's why this 27 got created right here, you see. So you got to understand binary decimal numbers, and that's what that is right there. Virtual numbers, for instance, now like right here, see you have 36 right here. Well, that's equal, if you add those up, that's equal to 72, right? So here's like 72, right? But the number 27 by itself can be expressed as virtually as 72. In other words, when you get a sequence like say it might show itself as 27, and then you have a number that's next to it that's 36. Well, that potentially could create a 36 sequence, because you add 36 plus 36, that's equal to 72, and it could be expressed by the number 27 as a virtual sequence. So in other words, the 27 becomes 72. So that's what a virtual number is. There's metamorphic numbers too. Metamorphic numbers are like, for instance, this one that links to a 0. That's what you would call a metamorphic 6. If the 0 was above the 1, that would be a metamorphic 9. But this is so this number together actually expresses like it has the expression, because 4 plus 4 is 8, and then linked to a 1 0 here, that makes like a metamorphic 6, so it's 86. And so it could express, well, like for instance, a 34 is 68, right? But in reverse mode, it would be 86, right? So in other words, there's no, in Super Lotto Plus, we're dealing with smaller numbers, So in other words, this number becomes 68. See, here's the 6 and there's the 8, 68. And 34 plus 34 is equal to 68. So it tells you that there's a possibility that you're going to get a 34 right there. 34 plus 34 is equal to 68, see? And so you got to understand that. You got to understand statements and expressions. Like these numbers have statements. And anatomical numbers here. An anatomical number is a number that, like for instance, the 17 right here. See that? 17, if you look at the 17, it kind of looks like an upside down 4. And so it has all the basic elements of creating a 4. In other words, you have a 1, and then you have the L, the upside down L, to make a 4. So that's what you call an anatomical sequence. The 17 to 4, that's an anatomical sequence right there. So basically, and it's important to understand that a lot of these sequences originate within the calendar. Then now you're going to say, how is that possible? But there's a relationship with what we do as human beings and what we create has synchronicity with the present time of like whatever these random numbers are. They're in relationship to what we have done in the past, and so there's a sequential harmony there. It's not really nonsensical randomness. It's all relational. So now, so for instance, even the ticket numbers have a relationship. You see, say in other words, this is either 41 or it's 14 as a reverse sequence. So start right there. You have a 14, right? But it also could be a 21. Now, let's go with this particular date right here. Notice how you have 2-8, right? That to me is 28. Now, that could sequence to a 28, or it could sequence to a 16. Now, the reason why is because the 28 carries the statement 2 8s. See, what is 2 8s? 8, 8. 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. So if this is to be sequenced, it could sequence either as a 28 or it could sequence as a 16. And you can see over here, notice how it has a 16 right there, see? And then over here it has another 16 right there, see? So that tells me that this sequence happened. The only thing you need to decide is whether it's going to be a 28 or a 16. And so here's another thing. Let me explain what 21 is. 21 carries the statement 2 1s, which is 1 1. And so what happens if you have 2 1s, 21 and 21? What does that equal? What that equals is a statement that says 4 1s. In other words, if this is 2 1s, which is 1 1, 4 1s would be 1 1 1 1. And that makes 4 1s. So this thing could be seen as a statement of 4 1s. And to make 4 1s, you either have to sequence to 11 11, like an 11 11 sequence, like right here. That is equal to 4 1s. Or you could do it with two sequences of 21 21. Because remember, the 21 carries the statement 1 1. So if this is like 1 1 1 1, right? And that's equal to 4 1s. So this sequence right here creates a 21, and over here you also have the 21 right here. And so notice this this sequence here. This is all kind of within the calendar date, right? This is either 14. So this is 14, right? And so look, at it actually sequenced to a 14 right there. You see that? I want to talk about the 17 is equal to 4. I said that was an anatomical sequence right there. You see that? Now, the reason why is because it has all the elements of making a 4. In other words, it has the 1, it goes down, and then this is the 7 is the upside down 7 that the 4 has, like goes like this. You see? So basically that represents a 4. Now, if you look at it, it actually sees. It looks like it's an upside down 4, so that's why it's like an anatomical sequence. And so, as you can see over here, notice how you got the 17, and that's sequenced to this 4 right here as the bonus number. And after that, then what happened is that this 4 sequenced to a 22. So all that was in relationship because 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. So it started off with the 17, which is the anatomical relationship between the 4, and then after that it created the 22. So that's all in relationship. These are all part of the same the family of sequences here. Whenever you get a 48, like this number right here and this number right here kind of represents a 48, you see. And so if you get another number like a 2, like you see right here, see, now that could be a factorial statement of saying 2 48s. Now 2 48s is 48 plus 48 is equal to 96. And so notice how you have the 9 right there. You see that? And so it sequenced to a 6. And one thing about these sequences, like especially when it comes to the 9-6 inversion sequence, like it just goes on and on. So so you could expect it to actually go on. Now, what will probably happen is that it won't create a 9 over here, right? It has a 9-6 inversion here. It could create a 9 here, but instead it created over here. So what you have right here is a 9-6 inversion, and then this 6 inverts to this 9 right here. So this is what you call the it's a inversion sequence. Oh, I call it the Jimi Hendrix experience, as if the 6 were 9 sequence. Now, so that's what this 48 is. Now you got to keep your eyes on that, because once you see it, there's a possibility it's going to create like these 9-6 inversion sequence. You see that? 9-6 and then 6-9. See that? So that's keep your eyes on that 48. I'd like to talk about the 98. Now the 98 sequence right here, the digits to the right hand side have sequential potential. And so if you look at this number 98, now what's equal to 98? 49 plus 49 is equal to 98. So this is a high probability that you're going to be creating a 49 type sequences right here. So as you can see right here, notice how you have this 9 right here. You see? It's just a half step away from this line right here, see? And so this is 98, right? And so there's a possibility it's going to create a 49 sequence. So if this is a 9 here, it's going to create a 4, right, to form 49. And this theme could continue, as you could see over here. Notice how over here it created 49, but it created it in an extended form like this, you see? 49. So basically you have 49 right here. And another thing is that this number right here, the 8, the calendar date 8 and 41, they actually form 49 also. Now the way it actually creates a 49 is that if you look at the, here it is right here, see right here? This sequence here creates a 49. The way it does that is that if you were to translate this 8 into double zeros like this, like that, this is what the double zeros like in roulette. Roulette has double zeros. So if you were to translate that 8 into double zeros and then put the 41 underneath, this is what you call a metamorphic number. And in other words, this 0 linked to this 1 makes a metamorphic 9. And over here, the 0 and 4, the 40 right there, that's expressed as 49. So that's equal to 49. So this number right here, linked to this number right here, makes a 49. So this is the theme that's related to this 98. You see right here, 98. And so even with the calendar date, it expresses 49. And so that's why it created this 49 over here. Now, if you were to capture that, obviously, I don't think the I don't think the Lotto Super Plus goes that high, but if you were to assume that it was going to create a 49, you would probably think that it would create a 40, and then the 9 linked to it. That makes 49 right there. See? No, these ticket numbers, like this one right here, they have they could be sequenced. In other words, this 40 could be sequenced to a 40 over here. And the reason why I did it is because of this number here that is equal to 49. And so I put a 9 right there. So these numbers, this number right here could be sequenced just like I did right there. Even this number, like right here, even this is the calendar date 1/4, which is 14. And that got sequenced right there. You see that? And what happens when it creates like this 14 and then sequences to a 9, this is what you call a soft 49. In other words, on the right hand side you have a 4 and 9. That's 49. And this number right here is just the I statement. So basically it's the soft way of forming 49. I'd like to talk about how, for instance, these calendar dates, you know, they could be sequenced. Like I said, you know, this 21 got sequenced over here as a bonus number right here. You see right there? And then over here, as we look at the 28, notice how the 28, it had a 2 right here, right? And then after that, it created an 8. So this sequence right here started with the 2 and then landed on an 8. So you could sort of assume that if you start off with a 2 right there, that it might create this 28. See, so by putting the 8 right there, it creates 28. You see that? I wanted to talk about this 38. Now, the 38 is equal to 19 plus 19 is equal to 38. Now, that could be sequenced by this fashion. In other words, if you look at this 21 and this 9, on the left hand side you have 19, right? And then this 2 right here becomes kind of like a factorial statement. In other words, 2 19s is equal to 38. So this 38 was able to spark off this sequence right here, 21 9, which carries the statement 2 19s. You see, 2 19s is 19 19, and 19 plus 19 is equal to 38. So that's something that is a very interesting sequence. I'd like to talk about the this 1 1, the 1 1 21. Now the 21, as I said, it carries the statement 2 1s, which is 1 1. See, but these 3 cells, what they form is 27. And the way it does, in other words, if I were to put 21 like I have right here, and then stack this 1 1, which is 11, right? And I stack it up on top like this, and what you get is 1 1 1, which is in binary notation, equals 7, linked to a 2, that makes 27. So this number right here, these 3 cells represents 27, and as you can see right here, it expressed itself this way, 27. You see that? And then after that, so that what you have here is a number that represents itself either 27, right, or 72. And the moment it created a 36 right there, then this number, now it could play 2 roles. It could play itself as 27, and it could play itself as 72. But the moment that 36 shows up, then it's playing itself out as 36 plus 36 is equal to 72. So so the moment you see that 36 there, you know that there's a possibility that it will create another 36, because 36 plus 36 is equal to 72. See, I want to talk about how these digits to the right, they form 58. Now this could sequence to 29 29 sequence, because 29 plus 29 is equal to 58, right? And so if you look over here, so you have the 58 form right here, and then right, it formed a 29. Now once you see that 29 formed, there's a good possibility that it's going to create another 29, because 29 plus 29 is equal to 58. So the red flag right there on that 29 that's formed, and now you know that there's a good chance that it's going to create another 29 because of this 58. Another thing I wanted to talk about is this sequence right here, which is the 33 36. What that number adds up to is 9. In other words, if you were to add up those 3's, that's 9 linked to a 6. So basically you have 96. It's basically the 6 9 inversion sequence that I was telling you about right here. So here's your 9 6 and then 6 9. So this is the environment right here, and so this is kind of telling you that you're in that environment right there, the 9 6 inversion sequence here. So it created it right here. This is 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9 linked to a 6. That's 9 6. See, 96. So this is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed these sequences. That's the wonderful world of random sequencing and sequencing random numbers. That's my other channel. And we're dealing with Super Lotto Plus. I hope you enjoyed it. So we'll see you in the next sequence.